Sanders, Wendy Lewis, and Randy Ray!
When we started Jeunesse, we had the two goals in mind: to help people reach their dreams and goals and to help children around the world.
I think a lot of that has to do with the way I was brought up. My father was part Cherokee Indian, and he was always showing the example of what a servant's heart is. He would help anybody, everybody, and didn't matter what the color of their skin was. He just taught that that's what we should do. So I've always had that knowledge that that's what we're here for. Always had this desire to help people, and the one burning desire I had was to make sure that if I can help kids so they didn't go to bed hungry like I had to do many times.
The way we could do that is to open countries, as many as we could, so we'd have a lot of countries where people were growing. We started by opening Taiwan and some other countries, and we got those countries doing amazing work, and we have about 35 offices all around the world.
If you look at all of the offices around the world, to continually make them feel loved and part of the family, that's an interesting challenge. But we do. I've had people call me up and say, you know, I'd love to have a hug from you right now. We truly loved our distributors.
They're the ones that carry the torch. We have to be grateful, because if they weren't here, we wouldn't be where we are today. Family's very important to me. I'm focused on family all the time. And now my family's gotten very big because all these people in these countries have become family. They all like to call us Mom and Dad.
The amazing thing for me is that over all these years to work with Wendy, and she has never disappointed me. I mean, she's been an absolute solid person. She has a lot of compassion. And I think the thing that most people see in us is how much we love each other.
Randy keeps me happy and laughing all the time.
After 35 years, it's been a great time. I feel very loved. I really do.
What I like the most is helping people, but what I focus on is trying to have the best products that it's going to help them stay young and healthy longer and grow the number of people that know about Jeunesse. That's my focus.
I'd like to continue building schools, because there are lots of places in the world that kids don't have a good educational opportunity. We teach them how to overcome poverty and get out of poverty, and show them that they're loved and appreciated, and that makes all the difference in the world in a child's life. We're only passing through this world. We're not permanent here. We're just passing through. And when we leave with empty pockets, and we're going to be accountable for two things. One, how did we treat Mother Earth? And two, how did we treat the people on Earth?
Helping people to succeed and make their lives better and a better way to live. That's what I want.
Good evening. It's a lively crowd we have here. You know, I've really missed you guys. It's been 2 years since I got to see you. 2 long years. My goodness, I was beginning to think nobody loved me anymore. I love you more. Well, thank you very much for being here. It's great to see you, the ones that I can see. I assume the rest of you are out there somewhere. But what I want is, you can have a seat. We love you. That's okay. You can sit if you wish. But what I'm going to say tonight, you might want to write this statement down. In life, your altitude, how much you rise up, is dependent upon your attitude. I know that's heavy, and you may have to write it down and, and think about it for a few days, but there's so much truth in that. Your whole attitude about how you live and what's important and what you do is all dependent upon your attitude. So when I was little, we were always moving around from one dump to another because I was born as a sharecropper's son. And I think we moved about at least every year, because I think we moved 17 times between when I was born and when I left home at 16. So we lived in some pretty shabby places. There was very, very limited opportunities for anybody. And actually being a sharecropper back then was really a form of slavery, because you didn't own anything. You lived in a dump that they put you in. You used their equipment to create a crop and build it and grow the crop and harvest it and all that. And you're supposed to get a share at the end of the season. But we rarely ever did. My father was part Cherokee Indian, and he never went to school a single day, and he never learned to read nor write. So he was taken advantage of a lot. So what happened with us is that we rarely had enough food to eat. And so the whole title of that book, Mud Pies to Blue Skies, is my younger brother and I used to go down to the creek bank, and we'd get mud off the creek bank, and we'd pat it out, look like a hamburger patty, and we'd eat the mud, because that stops the hunger pains. But that really happened. And when we did this book, we did it in Portuguese, Spanish, Chinese, and English. And the Spanish version and the Portuguese version, instead of mud pies to blue skies, it said black dirt to open skies. I was like, that wasn't exactly what it was supposed to be. But anyway, it was an interesting life growing up. I went to school barefoot all the way through the 12th grade. I got frostbite on my feet twice. I had no shoes. But so you'd think somebody growing up like that, you'd have a pretty rotten attitude about life. But the amazing thing was, I always looked for something good to happen. And when I was 14, I always had a challenge of getting my mother to tell me she loved me. I used to beg her to tell me she loved me, and she wouldn't do it. For some reason, maybe I was just too bad for her to say she loved me. But when I was 14, I tried to get her to tell me she loved me, and she wouldn't do it. So I said, okay, it's okay, Mama. You don't have to love me. I love me. And there's things that I want to do in this world while I'm here. And so I went down to the creek bank. I sat down, and I wrote out the things that I wanted to do. And the first thing on my list, I was going to be a millionaire by the time I was 35. And I picked 35 because the banker's son was 35. I figured he's a millionaire, right? It was a misconception on my part, but that was a good goal to establish and a time frame to complete it in. So that was the first thing on my list. Second thing on my list is I wanted to have new clothes. I never had any new clothes. I wore clothes that someone else had thrown away. I wanted to have food, so that was the next thing on the list. And I wanted to be able to live in a house that had electricity. We never lived in a house that had electricity. People say, well, did you have running water? I said, yeah, I had running water. It was in a creek. Never had water in a house. It was pretty bleak, but there's a lot of ways that you could look at it. But I looked at it and I said, there's got to be something better. And I remember one time, I must have been about 10 or 12, and I told my dad I was really sick and tired of living in all these dumps. We never had electricity. We never had any of these things. And he said, well, okay, tomorrow you're going to be someplace you've never been. God, I was so excited. I didn't sleep all night. Got up the next day, I looked around, and it was the same place I'd been. And I said, Dad, you told me we're going to be someplace different. He said, we are. I said, this is the same place we've been living. He said, no, today is a new day. You've never lived this day before. You'll never get to live it again. So that, when I finally saw that little poem that said, yesterday's history, you can't change that. Tomorrow's mystery because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. So that really came into play with me because of what he had said to me. So anyway, it was very limited opportunities as a child and growing up, and people made fun of me. And I was a straight A student until I got to the 9th grade, and I just got sick of it, and I got tired of being teased and made fun of and all that. And I tried to recover by saying, my father, my heavenly Father, owns the cattle on 10,000 hills. That's in the Bible. And so somebody spoke up and said, well, why don't you have him sell some of them and buy you some clothes? That was not fair. I didn't expect that. But anyway, I stayed there, and I graduated from high school, and I was 16 years old. Had no idea where I was going, but I knew I was going to leave and go somewhere. So I graduated on Friday night, and the next morning I left home. I got out on the highway, and I was hitchhiking, and some guy picked me up. He'd been up to Pickwick Dam at the Tennessee River, and he'd been fishing, and you could smell the booze on his breath. Hey, where are you going? I said, I don't know, but I'm going to go somewhere where I can be somebody, because I've been a nobody all my life so far. So he let me ride with him to get to Memphis, and he said, okay, you have to get out here. I got out and stand on the corner, and I thought, boy, I've done it now. I had no money. I had no job. I had no place to stay. I didn't know anybody in Memphis. So it was quite a shock. So I went in this little Toddle House restaurant across the street, and sitting there talking to them, and they had little crackers, and they had little basket of crackers, and on one end they had ketchup, and on the other end they had mustard. And I opened the crackers, I'd put mustard on one or ketchup on the other, and I said, could I have a glass of water, please? And that was my food. I tried to figure out where I could stay, and they said, well, there's a shed back here behind the restaurant. So they had all these dumpsters there, and then there was a wall, and on the other side of the wall was the shed. So I found a refrigerator box, a big cardboard box that was over a refrigerator, and I took that and I put it in, and I put the open end up against the wall where the dogs couldn't get to me. And so I lived there for 4 months. And then I heard about the Army having a program whereby you could, if you pass all the tests, they would guarantee in writing to pay your way through college. And I thought, that's it, that's my ticket. So I went down, I took the test, I scored fantastic scores on it, and the guy said, you know, they always say that's when the rubber meets the road. He said, that's great. Now, he said, all I need is your birth certificate, and I need to have your mom and dad come and sign. I said, we got a problem. He said, what's that? I said, I don't know what a birth certificate is. He said, when you were born in a hospital, you get a birth certificate. I said, I was born in a cotton field. My mother delivered me in a cotton field. And that was the first thing that shocked him. And the second thing was, I said, besides that, my mom's been dead for a couple of years, she's not coming back to sign anything. And I said, my dad can't read or write. He said, you gotta be me. I said, no, I'm telling you the truth. So finally, he said, well, you got to get your dad to come down here and sign it. How does he sign? I said, he makes an X. So I wrote a letter to my brother, and I said, you need to bring Dad down here. Brought him down, took my dad in there, put the paper in front of him, and had that big black X on the line you sign, and had the line to sign. He looked at that, he looked up at me, tapped the table, and I said, what? He said, somebody's already forged my name. Honest to God, he did. He looked so innocent, you know, he was really trying to be helpful. Somebody signed my name, forged my name. Anyway, I got in that program, and I was really blessed. I was able to earn a degree in psychology because I got all hung up on psychology. Because then all of a sudden I thought, maybe that's why my mother behaved the way she did. So I went ahead and I took child psychology, abnormal psychology, industrial psychology. I took every kind of psychology, and then next time I had enough credits to get a degree, and I looked around and I thought, how am I going to make a living? They said, oh, you have to get a master's degree to make any sizable money. I said to the guy, is there anything else that I should do? He said, well, they're coming out with something new now. It's called computer science. I said, really? What is that? He said, well, it's got computers and you go in a programming and all this stuff. So I said, okay, I'd like to sign up for that. So I signed up for that program, and there were 104 of us that were accepted. And after the end of the 2.5 years, really condensed, we graduated. Now, I'm delighted to tell you that at the end of that period of time, I knew this guy that was number one, and his name was Randy Ray. So that was quite an exciting time. And the big thing was, I said I didn't want to go back to Texas. And not because I didn't know you were there. I don't think you were there at that time. Texas is a lovely place to be from. I had a lot of fun in Texas. But anyway, so I was transferred to MacDill Air Force Base, and I stayed there developing software for the military until my time was up, and I went to work for Honeywell just across the bay, and I worked on software. The first project they assigned me was the X-15, and had the opportunity to work on that because they needed a program that would calculate from the time that the X-15 ignited. It was dropped from the B-52, or I mean B-52, and it would ignite, and I had to capture the XY coordinates and the time that it took from there till they said they wanted to land, and I had to calculate where they could land because the X-15 didn't have any wheels, it had skids. So it had to land on the salt flats or the desert sands. And so that was my first assignment. Then I heard that they were coming out with a request for proposal for something they call the Launch Processing System for the Space Shuttle. And so I went to Kennedy Space Center, signed up to be a bidder, and I worked with them for almost 2 years before they finally gave the award. And when they had all these guys in there that were with billion-dollar companies, and I had gotten an agreement with a little company down in South Florida, and they agreed to do the hardware for me, and if I won the deal. And so when they had made the announcement, they had all these people from billion-dollar companies there, and they were shocked that I was given the award. The thing that's important about that is that I knew when I first signed up to work on that I was going to win that contract. because I told myself over and over and over and over that I was going to win that job. And when they made the award, I thought, yeah, that's it. I knew I was going to win it. But the nice thing about that is that contract, out of the life of the contract, paid out $18 million in commission. My first commission check was $6 million, and I was 32 years old. Remember I said 35? I wanted to be a millionaire by the time I was 35. I was 32, and I was a millionaire. And if you can just have your imagination take control and say, what would somebody who grew up in Tennessee with nothing, what do you think he would do when he got a lot of money? That poor boy was stupid. He goes back to Tennessee. I buy houses, cars, I buy all kinds of stuff for my family. And I was probably the most popular member of the family. And then I woke up one day and thought, damn, if I keep doing this, I won't have any money left. But it was good. It's all good. I actually, after I finished all that, I met this lady, which the initial meeting was not that pleasant. I walked in the office one day and the girl said, there's some woman that called here and she is upset with you. I said, for what? She's called you many times and you never return her calls. I said, I have not had a call I haven't returned. I said, let me have that phone. So I called. She answered the phone. Hello? I said, have you been trying to reach me? She said, well, you guys must not need business because I've called 5 times and nobody answers the phone. You never call me back. I said, I've never heard from you. Well, we're in the market for a computer, but if you don't have more interest in that, maybe we don't even need to meet. I said, well, okay. She wanted somebody to come to her house and give a demonstration. And I thought, to her house? That's a little unusual because she lived in Lakeland, which was, not just down the street. But then I thought, come to her house? Now, don't get me wrong, don't have any wild ideas here. But I go over there to give her a demonstration. I took the computer, I put it on the desk, I was going through, and she was asking one question after another, rapid fire, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I thought to myself, I have never had to answer so many questions. The whole system is probably going to cost about less than $50,000. And she's asking questions like it was a zillion-dollar system. And then she said, well, it's not me, it's my husband's partner that wants all these questions answered. It was probably really her all the time. So, long story short, my demonstration was not suitable for her. And so I said, obviously you have more questions than I can answer for you today. I'm going to have someone else come over and give you the demonstration. And I had this guy, Mark Schaubin, in the office. He was over there. And he was an MOT, member of the tribe. And so he fit right in. Nice young Jewish boy. He answered all of her questions. And so we sold the system. And so from that point on, there's a lot of things that took place that changed the working relationship. Her husband decided he wanted to go somewhere else, and he'd been having an affair for a while, and so that went away. And so then oh, I'm sorry, that's not on my notes here. So since she knew so much about medical, and I had built a company called U.S. Medical, we decided to get together to sell software and hardware to doctors' offices. And we did, and then we changed over to find a different software vendor. And so we did that, and for 8 years, we were #1 in the country or the Southeast? In the country or the Southeast? In the U.S. Yeah. And then in the United States of America, we were #1. And we had some guy came in one day and wanted to buy the company, and Wendy said, "Oh no, it's my baby." I said, "We can have more babies. Let's sell this damn thing." So anyway, while we were doing all this stuff, the doctors that we had sold systems to were getting involved in Amway, and we said, every time we turned around, they wanted to get us to come over to a dinner on Thursday night, and I thought, oh crap, here's another Amway presentation. So we finally joined Amway. And believe me, we learned a lot about why you don't want to be in Amway. Whoa.
But we joined.
We joined, but because we could say we're already in. But the big thing about Amway compared to, you have no idea how good you have it in Jeunesse. Oh. If you have a team in Amway, you have to collect all the orders. You place an order. The orders comes in. You have to break it down and deliver it to the people or have them come by and pick it. And it's just a real pain. So I said to Wendy, I don't ever want to own our own MLM company. But if we do, we would never do it the way they're doing it. So lo and behold, one day, we decided to start an MLM company. But we did it the way we wanted to do it. You don't have to inventory stuff. You don't have to take your orders from your team. They can order directly. They can pay for it. It gets delivered to them. You get your commission. I mean, it's beautiful. You are so lucky. Do you feel lucky? Yeah. So, yeah. So I wrote a book about my life. I don't know if have you read it? There's a special on today. If you buy it, you get a penny off. But I have a bigger surprise for you. I have this book. This was written by my daughter. And she wrote the book for kids. There's 4 books in her series. And she took my book and she wrote 4 books from that book. And so this was the first one, the story about the fence post. How many of you read the book and you know about the fence post? See? I'm trying to figure out if anybody here ever read the book. Anyway, so she has written 4 books that she will be selling, and you can buy it through Amazon or wherever, I don't know. But she has done a great job, and she is one of these people that loves her daddy, and I can understand why. But she's done a great job, and she's got the others that will be coming out shortly. I've got the title somewhere here, but it doesn't matter. She's going to be introducing these as soon as they come back from the publisher. So she's done a great job, and people that have read her book, read the manuscript, really love it. So I would like you to keep that in mind, and you can, after you purchase mine, I said after you purchase mine, please purchase her books, okay?
Where does the money go when you purchase?
Oh, the money for what? My book, all the money goes to Jeunesse Kids. I don't get anything out of it. So far, we've been lucky to have a lot of sales, and there's lots of money that have gone to Jeunesse Kids. And if you ever look at all the things that we've done through Jeunesse Kids, it's remarkable. Schools in China and India and Ecuador and Kenya and in 9 countries. And to see what has happened with those kids and the fact that they now have a way to get out of poverty and they have a way to go to school. In China, when we put, in China, you think this, we put this school in, and it's really a very large facility. We put a library in, and you know, that was the most exciting thing those kids liked about the school. They had a library that had books in it. Really, you know, we take so many things for granted, and these kids just love the idea that they had a library that had books in it. So I know I ramble on, but I think I'll stop now. For all of you who don't know this lovely lady right here,
It's okay.
no, you're not getting away that easy. Believe it or not, she has tolerated me for 35 years. She was 10 and I was 12 when we got together, so that's why we look so young. But it's been a remarkable journey with the two of us, and I just thank God every day that I've been able to have somebody like her as my companion in this journey in life. And she's going to tell you lots of things, maybe sing a few songs, I don't know. But she's my best friend, she's my best business partner, and the best wife I've had. And I had one before.
I know you did.
So, Wendy, take it away, baby.
I'll be very brief. Thank you. I'm very, very happy to be here, to see all of you, to celebrate our 12th anniversary together. Yeah. Thank you. This has been a wonderful time because it's been so long since we've been able to see people and be together with all of you. It's been a very difficult years, and hopefully we're getting back to normal. I hope so. I said that before and it wasn't true. I'm hoping this time it really is true, and we are getting back to normal. And we've been very lucky to be able to travel to this expo because we've been home for so long, not being able to travel. And I'm hoping that very soon we'll be traveling like we used to in the past. We already have right now, I think, 3 more expos to do. We're looking forward to traveling to them. And because traveling is so much fun, and Randy and I have really missed it. So we're really looking forward to being able to travel again and see everyone. We have amazing new products that you're going to hear about that are fantastic. I've tried them both, and they are really, really good. I think you'll love them. And I love the new products, so I think it'll be great for all of you to try. I'm looking forward to that. We also are spending a lot of time with not only new products, but we have some amazing promotional products coming, promotional things that I think you will really like, very different than we've used. We've had really good suggestions, and we tried to take advantage of the suggestions we were given. And we start to focus on what to do now in the next months and the next year. This is the important time to focus on our future. We're increasing the number of people that we have as part of Jeunesse, and I hope all of you will build your teams and bring lots of new people in. And it'll be a really good time for us to do it right now because we have some amazing products and amazing things that everyone will really love. And it's good to tell them about it, and then you'll be able to grow your business.
So how many people are planning on going to the...
To what?
The event we're going to be in Panama and Brazil and Venice.
Yeah. Those 3. We have 3 very big events coming.
It's going to be lovely, and you will love it.
So I know a lot of you have been here and been with the company for 12 years, which is really amazing. And we really, really appreciate you and the work you've done. And I think during this event, you will really get to tell people a lot about how you grew your business and how you learned so much about how to build Jeunesse. And I think that'll be great for everyone to hear. I'm looking forward to hearing it myself. It's been a long time since we've been able to do this and be together. So I'm hoping we'll be extremely successful. You'll have a great time growing your business. And everyone here can learn so much. So I think it'll be great. We also have two things I wanted to mention. When we started Jeunesse, we had two goals in mind. The first goal, and the reason we started it—
I thought you had 3 fingers.
3? What's
No,
the
2.
third one? The first reason we started Jeunesse was to help as many people reach their dreams and goals as we could, because Randy and I felt that we were very fortunate because we owned 2 businesses together before Jeunesse, and we sold both of those businesses, so we were very fortunate, and we felt it was time for us to give back and help other people reach their dreams and goals. And we've been really very fortunate because we've helped thousands and thousands of people around the world reach their dreams and goals. That's really amazing, and I hope now that as we keep growing the business, that we'll be able to help more and more people reach the dreams and goals. And the second reason we started Jeunesse was to help children around the world, like what Randy was talking about, the Jeunesse kids. And we've been very, very fortunate, as he said, to open like 9 schools for children. We originally started with just trying to give children food in different countries. But what we realized very quickly is you can give them food. They want food tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So we had to find a better way to help them. And I think what we're doing now is better because we're teaching them how to make their lives better and be able to reach their goals and be able to help their lives grow. So it's been really amazing. And we have— right now, we just started a college of entrepreneurship in Kenya, and that college will be opening, I think it's around this coming June 25th, somewhere right around there. And I hope many of you will want to come and watch us open the School of Entrepreneurship. We look forward to it. I know we've been looking— it was supposed to open last year, but because of the virus and all that stuff, they had to delay it. But we just met with the people last week, and they said we're on for June of this year. So we're very, very excited to do that. So we like all the traveling. We've been able to travel a lot, and we hope to travel with you. We have new travel events coming so that you'll be able to travel, hopefully like we used to very soon. I know we still have some problems, but hopefully we'll be able to start going on trips like we did in the past. So we want to work together to make Jeunesse the best company and make it best for all of you.
Yeah.
We appreciate all of you so very much, and we look forward to working continuously with you to help you, and you help everyone else. So thank you very, very much.
We love you.
Love you.